Good morning, Ellie. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Ellie, I understand that you're a very experienced trainer who works with people to develop leadership, and you've done that for a couple decades now in various countries. What can you share with us about what you've learned about leadership and its development in that time?
The fundamental about leadership, in my opinion, is that everybody is a leader in one way or another. And to develop and tap into everyone's innate leadership abilities, an organization or an entity needs to build trust with their people. They need to create the kind of space where people can express themselves and show up and begin to operate in their own natural skills and abilities.
What role or responsibility does the board of a company have in terms of leadership in an organization?
Well, the first thing that I think a board needs to look at is what is their attitude towards their people. Do we have an us versus them attitude? Or are we have an attitude of we're in this together, this is about a partnership? Each of us bringing what we have as our knowledge and our skills and abilities towards a common objective or goal within the organization. And I think it behoves the board or the steering committee, if you like, in an organization to ensure that the attitude that we hold and have is one of enabling leadership to develop and not disabling.
What are the keys to enabling leadership in an organization?
Well, one of the things I think that enables leadership development is a sense of transparency. That people know what is going on in the organizations, even when sometimes hard decisions are made, that those of us who are on the receiving end or on the followership end of it, if you like, have been given enough information so that we can make an understanding of why we're taking on a certain series of actions or directions. That there needs to be a certain amount of transparency within the organization. I think trust within the organization, trusting that each person innately has a desire to do their best and be the best, and to create the kind of results that will achieve the overall objectives of the organization. I think those two are very big.
If I were the CEO of an organization and I asked you to come and help me, what would you actually expect from me in that partnership?
I would expect, first of all, that you, as the CEO, would model the principles and some of the competencies of good leadership. That you would be willing to listen, that you would be willing to be open to ideas and opinions that might not necessarily be yours, or be even the same as yours. That maybe there would be other methodologies and strategies to get to the end result that wouldn't necessarily be of yours, but that you would be open and receptive to accepting and listening to that.
That sounds like it could be challenging at times. Is there some way that your organization would support me in that effort?
Well, one of the other things that we think is a criteria, or how do I say, that enables development of leadership is a coaching process. So what we could do with you is provide you with a coach that would facilitate you through those difficult processes. And you would be able to have a place and a person that you could talk to with privacy and confidence and confidentiality, where you could talk about some of the areas of difficulty that you have so that you could work through them in a way that would support you in being more effective.
What would I expect from you as my partner in this journey?
Well, one of the things is we will align ourselves to what the purposes of your objectives are. So we're not going to come into your organization and tell you how to do things. But what we will do is to help you design and construct a mindset that is conducive to the leadership development and leadership growth.
How long does it take to go through this process in an organization if I really want to change my culture and I want to move toward a culture in which people are more enabled? Could I expect that to happen in a month or two?
Not likely. As you know, human beings, as much as we love to be innovative and as much as we like to be creative, it generally takes a little bit of time. And think about how long your organization has already been in operation, the habits that you've developed, the constructs that you develop within your organizational culture have taken time to evolve. So it would depend on the size of your population, but I would guess that you're going to have to look at maybe a 3-year process, 2 to 3 years, and in some organizations a longer time because of the larger population for it all to filter through. And then after that, once you've got the proper organizational culture and you begin to see leadership evolving, then I think it's a long-term development plan. It's like you don't get to develop leaders and then stop, but it's a constant learning process. So you begin to evolve as a learning organization, among other things.
Can I ask you, why do you personally like doing this work?
That's a really great question, and I have many, many answers for that. But one of the biggest reasons is when I was growing up in Japan, a lot of what I was taught was about what was not possible. You shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. It seemed like so many rules and regulations limited, or I saw limitations around what was possible. I was a woman in a patriarchal culture, and so there were many limitations placed upon me. And what excites me about leadership development is that we can support and assist people to see beyond their own limitations, and that they begin to take action in sets of behaviors that has them go beyond that limitation, but even more than that, be successful in what they say they want to achieve. That's exciting to me. And when that happens at an organizational level, it catapults an organization from being just creating results to an organization that is evolving and successful.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts today.
You're very welcome.